Hey everyone. I don't know why I stopped there. Hey everyone. I'm Jaden,
And I'm Cam.
and we are the Super Gamer Bros, and this is the Super Gamer Bros podcast. We're just a couple of brothers who love playing games and love talking about games, so that's what we do. And today, everybody, welcome back to the third or second episode of Super Gamer News. That's right, we're bringing it back. Despite intense audience feedback begging us to never do this again, we're doing it again.
Yeah, we thought
Campbell,
we liked it. Yes,
yeah, laugh at my jokes.
I did laugh.
Well, you kind of huffed a bit. I want an audible laugh every time.
Okay, I mean, I'll try to produce that, Jaden, but
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
got it.
that's
Yeah. Anyway,
that's kind of that's a lot to ask for, but okay,
anyway,
I
you could
got you.
continue on with what you're saying.
I was just gonna say that yeah, I don't know, we figured out that we kind of liked it a little bit. There's a lot of news to talk about, so yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yep. So we're going to talk about some of the biggest or our favorite gaming news to occur over the last month or so. And today we are going to get it started with Cam.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so we have the upcoming Wolverine game that was leaked after Insomniac was hacked 3 weeks ago.
Was that? Hold on, I'm going to stop you.
Um,
Was that only 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it really was only 3 weeks ago.
I There's no way. It has to be longer than that.
No, it wasn't. I mean, for real, go ahead, look it up. It wasn't. It was only 3 weeks ago.
Go
Genuinely.
ahead. Go ahead. Keep going with your thing. I mean, we're going to talk about it no matter what, but that's not.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you can see numerous clips online of gameplay. Some of the leaks even include spoilers. Insomniac responds saying the hack exposed millions of files, including employee information, as well as a playable build of Wolverine. Also saying that the situation was extremely distressful, which was on Insomniac Games Twitter. So, I mean, I haven't looked at the clips of the game. Like, you can go. I'm pretty sure you could go on Twitter or YouTube, and you could probably find it somewhere.
I mean, yeah, you could
Um,
find it. You could probably find someone reporting on it. It's probably
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, it's everywhere. I don't really want to look at it though. I mean, I'm just not that type of guy, really. Because I'd rather enjoy the game, and wait the way it's supposed to be weighted. But yeah, I mean, it's sad, especially when you talk about like employees' information getting leaked. I mean,
Oh, yeah, you never want anyone's personal information to get
yeah,
leaked.
yeah, that also really sucks. And people are definitely selling that data because I mean, you're not just some random person if you're able to hack into something like that. So, yeah, what do you think, Jaden? What do you think about it?
Well, obviously, I'm not happy about it. Um, I think, I mean, whenever anything gets hacked and leaked is not good, especially if it does involve leaking of personal information. It also sucks because if it was like EA that this happened to, I probably would be a little less caring about it. In regards to the game files, because EA is not a great company, but Insomniac, like, they're a good developer. They're good. They've never been bad. They've never released anything bad that I'm aware of. They have never, like, I mean, they're controversy free as far as I'm aware. They've never had controversies with forcing their employees to crunch. They've never done anything bad. All they've ever done is release good quality games, and it sucks. It sucks that this happened to them. Like, they're a good studio, so I don't. It sucks that this happened. Again, as I said, it sucks that this happened to them. I have not looked at anything because I don't know. Maybe it's just me being the little sheep that I am, but like I don't feel the need to know. It's like Insomniac, their track record speaks for itself. I have such high trust with them and what they do that I feel no need to look up and see what's going on with the Wolverine game. Like, I've mentioned it before. I'm pretty sure, at least on the podcast once or twice with Noah, that I only watch trailers for a game up until the point I know I'm going to play it, because at that point I don't want spoilers. I think trailers nowadays give away way too much stuff, in terms of spoilers and story stuff. And I don't like that. I want to be surprised going in. So the second I know I'm going to buy a game, I don't need to see anymore. I don't look anymore. And that's honestly the case with every Insomniac game because I know they're so good at playing games that the second Insomniac announces a game, I know I'm probably going to buy it, I'm going to play it, and it'll be great. So I don't need to look into it. I know the Wolverine game exists. That's all I need. Insomniac making a Wolverine game, I am sold. I am there. I don't need to look at anything. So yeah, I have not looked at any of this stuff, but it sucks that it happened to them.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think I like looking at trailers because they kind of give me an idea of what I'm going into.
Oh
So
yeah, I
I don't
get it.
know.
No,
It's
I
it's
get it.
cool to see your perspective on that. I don't know. It's interesting.
Now my thing, very interesting, Kim. I'm very interested to hear your opinion on it because you're I think a little artistic person yourself. SAG-AFTRA has reached an agreement with AI voice company Replica Studios to allow members to have their voices replicated by AI for use in. This was specifically referencing video games, but I assume it means that it could be used in any sort of animation.
Okay.
But there's nothing that I saw that indicates that, so I'm going to just say video games for now. Voice actors are very not happy about this, especially voice actors who do their work primarily in video games. Stephen Bloom, who is a very high profile, very prolific voice actor, has been in, I think he technically has the record for like the most voice roles ever. Came out and because SAG-AFTRA, of course, released their official statement saying, "Hey, we talked with all of our people that are affected by this, and they all love this position. They all love this contract we made. It's great for them." And he came out and was like, "Yeah, no one talked to us about this. Like, that's just a lie. Like, we are not happy about this." And I have to say, I'm also not happy about it. Despite, I mean, I'm not a voice actor myself, but even just someone who I feel like as anyone who does anything that is can be considered artistic in any capacity. AI is not great. Cam, I don't know if you're aware, not video game related, but visual artists, just people who, draw, paint, do any sort of digital art, having a lot of trouble with AI because it's basically theft. And because it's so new, there's not really any sort of way to police it because you have people that have, those AI art generators where it's like, oh, if you put in a prompt, it'll make art that looks like what you say, and you can also even potentially say, oh, draw it like X would draw it. And it's like, well, how does an AI draw like insert person here would draw? Well, someone takes art they've made, they upload it to the AI, and the AI can replicate that style. That's theft in the general sense of the word, and I hate it. And I also hate that there are a vast majority of people that don't care about that. Like I have a guy I work with that he does like he owns printers and stuff to print on like tumblers and shirts. He's kind of into that. And he used to pay a friend of his to do art if he needed like well one he would usually just take art from the internet, also theft, but he's not like a huge business here, so I'll allow it. But if he needed something that was kind of more involved, he had a friend who was a graphic designer that he would pay to do the art for him. And now he just goes to an AI and does it because he pays like $5 a month for an AI to do it. And he, again, just being kind of an asshole, insults me for calling it theft and just says I'm being a bitch about it. And I'm like, nah, dude, like you're stealing art from people. Like pay an actual artist that does it. Like that's what I do. Every time I need an art thing done, like podcast stuff, whatever, I go to someone and I say, hey, I'll give you money, you make thing. It's very simple. And a lot of internet artists, for especially kind of what he's asking, which is not very like intensive, he's not going to be paying too much. And it's annoying that he just has such a nonchalant attitude that, oh yeah, I'm just paying $5 for this instead of paying an actual person money that they could use to live to do art, something that they love. And that to me as someone who also does like creative things just pisses me off to no end.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's and it's dumb because when we're talking just with the voice acting, we all know it, right? Like slowly, like I don't want to say robots, but like kind of like robots and AI are taking over the world, and you can see that happening. When you see this, it's sad because over time, slowly AI is going to take over jobs. And that's not right to people that are voice actors. I
Yeah.
think it'll. I don't think it. Now, here's another thing. I don't think it will produce the same. I think you won't listen. There is nothing better than when you hear voice acting and there's a soul behind it, because that's what makes it acting. That's what makes it good. That's what makes it feel like I'm a part of the game. That's what makes me feel like I'm in the game and I'm in that moment and I can feel those
Yeah.
feelings that person's expressing. As for when it's AI, there's no emotion behind it. They may sound like the person, there's no emotion though. And you might find ways you can tweak it where it can sound like you're saying it in a certain way. But to me, it's gonna sound dead, and that's terrible. And for AI art, don't even get me started. I think it's complete bullcrap. It's
Yeah.
very stupid that they do that,
Absolutely.
and they and people try to act like they're innocent about it, but they know it's wrong. They all know it's wrong. I mean, it's not right to take someone's style and put it in and try to act like that's their own piece. Because to me, like you have to always keep money fluctuating, like in general, right? And people always have to have jobs, okay? And so if someone has a good talent, and I don't know, I feel like artists, they don't really harm anybody. I don't know, like I feel like I don't ever hear about anything about artists doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like yes, they need money. We need to give them money. Like if
It's
if if we're gonna buy anything or gonna do anything, instead of trusting AI art or trusting some random person online that like you can, and plus you can obviously tell when it's AI art most of the time. Most of the time you can tell. But yeah, if it's one of those people, it's just stupid. I don't know.
yeah, I think yeah, to talk more specifically about voice actors as well. I think yeah, this is not great because voice acting is already, I think, it's a very hard field to break into. And even now, I say there are some voice actors that I hear them too much. Like they're in everything. And it does get to a point where I just think, oh man, in this game too, huh? Okay, okay. I'll finish that game. Let me play this other game. Oh no, same person, same people. And it's nothing on them. They're very good at what they do and they, earn those roles, I assume, because as well with voice actors, they don't really have, star power like normal actors. So it's not like you're casting a voice actor and people are going to play the game because, oh, that voice actor's in it. It might draw someone to look into the game, but it's not the biggest thing. So it's not going to be what sells people on a game for the most part. But yeah, I think this sucks. It's going to take roles away from especially newer people trying to break into it, because the most likely people that are going to be using these AI voice things are going to be small indie developers, smaller companies who maybe don't want to spend the money on a voice actor, even a smaller, cheaper voice actor, which is where a lot of people are able to kind of break into it, is through those smaller games that can't afford bigger names. And that's where I feel is going to be affected because, a huge company like, let's say, Insomniac, they're not going to use this. Rockstar, they're not going to use this. They're going to,
Right.
they're going to pay people because they can afford it and they want to make their games as good as possible. And like you said, there will be, at least it'll take a bit before AI can kind of become to the point where it is indistinguishable. But even when it does reach that point, studios still have to say, hey, we used AI to generate this person's voice. You can't like credit a voice actor when they didn't actually stand in the booth and do the work. So people will know, and I think you will see a lot of voice actors and even just gamers in general calling for boycotts of games that use this, especially if they are from bigger studios that can't afford it. But at the end of the day, I think it's really going to hurt smaller voice actors and smaller, yeah, just smaller voice actors, because a lot of their work that they can get are in those kind of smaller indie games. And those are the people that I feel like are most likely to use this because at the end of the day, it is cheaper. And especially if you're a studio of 5 people on a shoestring budget, you're going to cut costs wherever you can. I understand wanting to cut costs in terms of voice actors and stuff, but my opinion is if you're going to do something, you got to be willing to spend the money to do it right. Even if it takes, like, for this podcast, when we first got started, me and Noah, and I was kind of buying stuff to get it. It's like I was saving up money to buy stuff. I was saving up money so I could pay an actual artist to make actual art for us because I didn't want to do it cheaply. And it's So my personal opinion is if you're not willing to put the money in, even if it takes a long time to save the money, Cam doesn't have a mic right now. We're still working on that, but I don't have the money right now to just buy Cam a mic. Cam doesn't have the money to just buy a mic. So we're doing what we can, but eventually we will get it because we want the podcast to be a good product. And so I think if you are not willing to do that, then you shouldn't, be in a creative field. Like artists, they have to buy all their own supplies. If you're a painter,
Right.
like they got to buy their paints. If they're on a digital artist, they have to pay for the programs, they have to pay for the tablets, they have to pay for all that. So I think all those people are willing to pay for that and do it because they want to and they love it. I think if you're someone who is, yeah, you want to make a game, but you don't want to pay for someone, then by God, do it yourself. Like
Right.
that's do something. Like there are studios, indie studios that have like friends or just voice it themselves because I assume can't afford or just don't want to pay a voice actor. I'm saying do that, but don't do AI. That's my take on
Yeah.
that.
Well, and plus you got to think like to a certain extent, it's also like plagiarism in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
I
mean
mean, if you're using someone else's voice without their consent and it's AI generated and you're profiting off it and you're not giving them any money for it, that's a problem.
well, see, you're correct, but the whole point of this contract is that it's making it not plagiarism because the voice actors have to agree to have their voices replicated. So at that point, it is not plagiarism and it is not illegal. It's just immoral, is how I view it.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid. They
Yeah.
definitely need to
Yeah. And
uh,
again,
stir up the pot about that one.
yeah, like SAG-AFTRA says that they talked to a lot of voice actors about this, but several voice actors seem to disagree with that sentiment.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
That's on to the next one.
on to let's talk about happier things. Cam, go ahead.
Oh, it's not happy, Jaden. It's never happy for me about this one. Okay, so college football fans are upset after EA Sports didn't release any trailer or info about their upcoming NCAA football game at the national championship. EA made word around that they would showcase a trailer about the new game. Nothing was shown. You could have gone all over Twitter that night. People were pissed, which reasonably, yeah, I agree. We didn't really know when the trailer was supposed to be shown. Some thought it was a commercial. Some thought it was going to be during halftime. Others thought maybe you just see a little sneak peek throughout the game. But there's nothing. They didn't end up doing anything, and as you guys know, Jaden as well. Uh, I love college football, and I love the college football 14. Now, do I imagine it's going to be the same game as it was back then? Absolutely not. But I'd still like to play it because I haven't seen a college football game in years.
It's
Uh,
been over 10 years now.
yeah, over 10 years, and so because of that, yeah, I'd love to have a new game just to try it. I mean, who cares, right? That's one thing I'm willing to spend the money on, even if it's just as bad as what Madden is today. But I'm definitely annoyed though. I mean, EA. This isn't just the first time that EA has, I feel like, screwed their fans over, and then that's in different ways. I'm not saying this is the exact same thing they've done in the past, um, but I mean, to me, I just feel like it's not really the way they should have took it, and they really screwed up because to me that would have been a lot of good publicity. Would have made a little bit of a stunt on it. That's a perfect time to do it. There's still no talks about it from EA themselves. They haven't said anything. There's no word on them from it. So I mean, who knows? What do you think, Jaden?
I think EA continues to valiantly defend their crown as the worst game studio out there. They will not give that up, and it's wildly impressive that they've held on it for so long and so proudly. I'm not surprised. Uh, Again, it's EA. They suck. They absolutely announced the game. I mean, what 4 years ago, 3 years ago at this point? It was years that they
Yeah,
announced NCAA was coming back, and of course have done nothing with it. I mean, I guess you could play some college teams in like Madden 22 or something. Uh, who cares about that? I want a full game. Uh, but also, kind of like you said, I'm not beating down the doors for it because it is EA, and I'm sure it's not going to be great in general. I will buy it, like you said, just because I want to play a college football game. But all the things I love about college football, the Road to Glory mode, the mascot mashup, I doubt those will be in there. I'm sure it'll just be a reskin of Madden with college teams. Um, but I am hoping against hope that that it does actually come out and be
I
good.
I have a different take actually. I think Road to Glory will be in there, and the only thing I will say though is I truly believe that uh Road to Glory will kind of be like, do you remember when they had the long shot in Madden?
Yeah, but I don't want that. I just want what Road to Glory was in
Yeah,
14.
I agree.
I just
I
want to
agree.
play
I don't want
through. I want to play through a college career, win the Heisman, and win some national championships as whatever position I want.
yeah, I don't want that either, but that's going to be the approach they're going to take it probably. They'll probably have a little story play along.
Yeah,
And that's really stupid because they're trying to be like 2K, but
yeah,
Madden doesn't need to be 2K.
yeah,
They're you know what I mean? Like they don't need to be them. EA doesn't need
yeah.
to be 2K. EA's built themselves up on their own really good games back in the day.
Back in the day.
Um,
Well, see,
and
the
so,
thing. Well, the
go ahead.
thing with that as well is, well, they did the whole long shot thing because Madden wasn't performing as well in sales. But hey, guys, instead of making a story mode, make a better game. Just make the game better. I think that'll get people back. And add the old franchise modes, the training camp modes. Like that's what people want. They don't want to play a story.
Right. And how about instead of you guys being so lazy, why am I not able to create my own football team again where I can have my own stadium, they can go wherever they want. I can build the city around it. Or I can change like the scenery around the
Yep,
stadium.
yep,
I could change the logos. I could have a different team. I could even go to the point where I could have my own players on my team.
yep.
Now you get like 10 teams that you get to rebuild with. It's like the London Knights and oh please. And I always say this for a lot of companies that like when they kind of go in the wrong direction, like you can always redeem yourself by going back to what was making you guys good. So
Yep.
it's like instead, if you want to, like I don't think anybody would be upset if you went to an older Madden game and you took everything from that game where people enjoyed it and then put it on to Madden 24, right? See how people liked it, right? And then from there, you just rebuild the game up again. But actually try. Don't be lazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on now to some actual maybe happy news because this is not a like confirmed thing that's happening, but multiple sources indicate that Xbox could be porting some first-party exclusives to PlayStation 5 and Switch. Sneakers SO on NeoGAF, uh, who is a Microsoft insider, reported that. That's very exciting. There are a lot of Xbox exclusive games that I would like to play. Sneakers SO specifically even said that even as far as Halo Infinite being released on PlayStation 5 is not as far fetched as it sounds. I would love that because I like, exclusives. You love exclusives when they're on your console, you hate exclusives when they're not. But I just like, I would not have a problem if exclusives in general kind of went away as a concept because that's just more people being able to play great games, which means studios can make more money, which means they can afford to continue running and make more games. That's all I want. The report also specifically mentioned Hi-Fi Rush, a game that was actually an indie bit in this podcast several months ago. Anime rhythm inspired game would be one of the first games to be released on PS5 and Switch. That's a cool one because I did not play that one too much. I would like to give that more of a deep dive, and it being on PlayStation would entice me to do so. But yeah, I think that's cool. I would be very excited if some Xbox exclusives, especially if they were to bring some older ones and re-release them on PlayStation, I would absolutely give them a go.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And really, I think the whole exclusive idea is stupid as well. To me too. I think everybody should have a chance to play games, I love games. Um, and so like when something like that happens, it's pretty dumb because it's not only limited for the players, but also limited for the people that created the game, right? I mean, that already tells you you're not going to make as much money as you could. Um, Especially when sometimes you do see like bigger games that are exclusively on a console do really good. That I'm sure that does suck, and it's kind of like a salt in the wound, type of deal.
Yeah.
Um, but I do like that. That is cool, and I hope one day eventually that and it sounds like sometimes like PlayStation and Xbox kind of do at times kind of come together a little bit. So we'll see.
Yeah, timed exclusives are becoming more of a thing where it's like, hey, this is exclusive on PlayStation for a time, but then it'll come out on Xbox.
And I think that's
Um,
okay.
or PC. You know, PlayStation's putting several of their exclusives on PC now as well. And yeah, I mean, I get why they exist because that's how people sell consoles, is their exclusives. But really, at this point in time, I feel like it's kind of becoming almost, you could say, a relic of the past. Because, I mean, if you look at your average Joe gamer, they have their console and they're not going to switch. Someone who's been playing Xbox since the original Xbox and that's their main console and they're still playing Xbox now, they're not going to get a PlayStation no matter what exclusives you have. They'll just be like, yeah, angry that they can't play that game. Because games consoles are expensive and video games are also expensive. And buying a console for the sole purpose of playing exclusives is, I will say, an unreasonable expectation for a lot of people to that they would do that. There are absolutely people that do that, good for them, but I think it sucks for kind of the average people who can't really just afford to drop another $500 on another console and then a $70 for a game, and then they play that game, and at that point, it's I have this, I have an Xbox now. I played that game. Well, I guess I'll go back to my PlayStation,
Right.
or vice versa. So I certainly am all aboard on getting these console exclusives because I mean that's the point I take where there are a lot of Xbox exclusive games that I just say, well, I guess man, people love this game. I wish I could play it, and then I'm move on with my sad life.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
it it definitely does suck too because I mean as Jaden said, not everybody has money like that, and I mean also that's just a lot of money in general. And to me, like as much as some of those games are really good, I don't think it's worth buying an Xbox and then just for those. To me
Yeah.
that's just not right.
Yeah.
And one thing else that's annoying too is the current pricing of games as well. That's also
Well,
very annoying.
that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, oh, it definitely is. But yeah,
Anyway,
I'd like to let it be known because I know other people think it. $70 for a game is genuinely crazy.
yeah.
I don't
Uh,
know.
Cam, what's your third and final news story for today?
Third and final one, we have gaming history just happened. A 13-year-old kid named Willis Gibson. He goes by Blue. I'm my bad to him, by the way. I believe this is Blue Scooty.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
Scooty. Okay. It just beat Tetris after 34 years. The only other time it has been done was by AI. The only way to actually beat Tetris is to have a kill screen, which is basically just the screen freezing and the game crashing. This was announced and praised all over Twitter by Tetris. Pretty crazy. I saw the clip, man. That's pretty nuts. I mean, especially when only AI's done it, and this dude's 13, and there's people that are way older out there that couldn't do it. So yeah, pretty crazy. What do you think, Jaden?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's super cool. Uh, I think it's annoying how good kids are at games. Old man Jaden coming in here with that opinion. But in Tetris itself, I have never been good at Tetris as much as I would like to be because I think it is a very impressive game to be good at. But I mean, yeah, but good for this guy. Good for this kid. He did it. It's incredibly impressive. I find it surprising that he's the first to ever do it. But I also don't really know what beating Tetris means because I've actually watched competitive Tetris matches and I have seen people becoming Tetris grandmasters, which is a completely different thing apparently, which I thought that was beating Tetris, but apparently not. So the whole beating Tetris thing really confuses me. I'd probably have to look more into that.
Yeah, you know what,
But
Jaden?
what?
Oh, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
you
No,
go
no, go ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Finish it, please.
But either way, what he did was super super impressive. And he is the like I guess if you want to say beating Tetris the way he did, he's still the first to do that. So again, all kinds of props on that one.
Yeah. Well, I was actually a little confused too, right? Because I'm like, first of all, I'm thinking like, no way, this kid's the only person to beat Tetris. Like Tetris has been around for so long, you know. Like I feel like I've heard other people like doing something just like it, right?
Yeah.
So I actually, I looked it up, and so there is no really official way of beating Tetris.
Well,
The
yeah, he
only way,
just played until the game crashed.
yes, yes, which that's how you beat it, and that was confirmed by Tetris himself. So, uh, which is pretty interesting. I mean, I didn't even know there were Tetris game matches or grandmasters or whatever, but
Yeah, I
um
know there are only like 4 people who have reached the status of Grandmaster on Earth,
that kid better be one of them.
and he is not. Again, it's a totally different thing. I don't know. It might be like a different Tetris game because I'm pretty sure in
Mm,
that different Tetris game there's like credits and stuff. I don't know. It's weird,
okay.
but either way, congratulations to Blue Scooty for beating Tetris. More accomplished than anything we'll ever do with video games.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Sadly, hey, you never know though. You never know
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
if we may get big in the gaming community one day. And
Yeah,
we might be popping up places. That
yeah.
sounds pretty. Neat.
All right, now we move on to my last story of the day. Also, not a more rumors than actual news. There are rumors that Xbox is finally overhauling its achievement system in 2024. Cam, I know you love achievements. I love achievements. There are several things that Xbox players have been calling for a long time, such as a diamond or platinum achievement for 100% game completion. I will say overall, I like the achievement system better than the trophy system simply because there's more variety. With the achievement system, you get points. Each achievement is worth a certain number of points. Gamer score, is just the total amount of your points. It's a lot easier to kind of track, kind of how good a person is based on points than by the level system that PlayStation has. Also, it allows for more variety of points because I don't think there's really a limit to how many points an achievement can be worth. But you have, achievements worth 5 points, 10 points, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100, 150. Back in the early days, odd numbers like 2 or 3 before Xbox kind of put a stop to that. But that more variety lets you, I feel like people feel better when they get an achievement that's worth 50 points versus, 15 points. You feel like you accomplished more. With PlayStation, with the trophy system, all you have is gold, silver, and bronze. And there's no requirement to a game having a number of gold trophies or a number of a specific number of each kind of trophy. And there have been a lot of times I've done something in a game that I just say to myself, why is this a bronze trophy? This is stupid. This is so much work for a bronze. I can't believe it. Now, I suppose, to be fair, there have absolutely been instances where you do very easy things to get gold trophies. Again, it's just arbitrarily up to the developer. But you do get some annoying instances like that. For example, the indie bit game we are talking about today, Cam,
Yeah.
had 20 trophies. 9 of them are gold. That's awesome. That is a lot of gold trophies. Contrary to that, I'm currently playing through Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 has 67 trophies. It has 1 platinum, 1 silver, and 65 bronze.
Ooh.
All like the trophies for getting all the collectibles, literally like every single set of collectibles is bronze. So you take the time to run and get all the collectibles in the game, you're just getting a heap of bronze trophies. The only silver trophy is for beating the game. I think beating the game should by default be a gold trophy in every game it's in. And let me tell you, I'm incredibly annoyed about that. Like absolute bullshit that all of these trophies are just bronze. It pisses me off to no end. But the thing PlayStation has over Xbox, the Platinum Trophy. And the reason that matters is if you get a Platinum Trophy in a game and then later they add DLC to that game, your percentage is no longer at 100%. So, hypothetically looking at it, you can argue, oh, you haven't completed the game because you don't have 100%. But you still have the Platinum Trophy. So, that's like, hey, no, look, I did get the Platinum Trophy though. Xbox does not have something like that. You have 1,000 gamer score in a game. If they add DLC to that game, you just no longer have that game completed. That's it. It's not completed anymore because you don't have 100% of the achievements. And that is something I've heard Xbox users complain about for a long time. They hate when games get DLC, especially if the DLC is very difficult or is just something you're not interested in playing. Just ruins a perfect game for Xbox people. So they have been wanting an achievement like that for a while. So cool. They also other things that could potentially happen here. An achievement showcase on player profile. So you look at someone's profile, it shows you maybe some highlights of their achievements, maybe how many games they've completed, things like that. A better tracking system for in progress achievements. That's something that PlayStation does. I always assumed Xbox did it, but maybe not. But that again, I think has always been kind of up to the developers to do that. For example, with Alan Wake again, if I go on Alan Wake and I look at the trophy list, it'll say, oh, collect all collectibles, and then 23 out of 42. Okay, it literally will tell you how many you have and how many you need left. There was a trophy to headshot 5 enemies. It tracked every single one when I got it. So I assume that's what they mean. And then also, this is a huge one that PlayStation should also do, a process to report failing or bugged achievements. Nothing is worse than a bugged achievement, keeping you from completing a game, potentially having to replay a game because you can't. Oh, that achievement didn't pop for you, but you did the thing that you need to do to get it. So now you have to play through the game and do that thing again to even try to get it again. I've had several heartbreaks with that. I've had several several times where I have had to restart games for achievements, or trophies. I've had several times where I have, reading guides, have made backup saves just in case that they don't pop because someone will say in a guide, hey, this is highly buggy. Make a backup save so you don't have to play through a whole chunk of game again to get this trophy because it's not like there's no fix for it. It's just you have to keep doing it and hope that it eventually works.
Right.
Incredibly
Yeah.
annoying.
Well, hopefully those are true because those all sound like pretty good things that they need.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course, this is
those.
Xbox, something that I don't play on, so overall it will not affect me too much, but I'm happy if other achievement hunters, trophy collectors get their wishes. And maybe if it is a system that proves successful, it's something that Sony will maybe copy with the trophies later.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah. There's definitely some issues with that though. I'm surprised that I don't know. I've never really heard of that being a problem. So now, and I feel like to me that's pretty big in like the
Oh, I
gaming.
got some stories I could tell you, buddy.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's that. I think it's exciting. I hope it happens this year.
It would be nice.
Cam, now we move on to our upcoming games. Games that are releasing actually for the most part in the next month. We actually 5 of our 6 games are actually releasing or have been released in the next 30 days. Um, so Cam, why don't you start us with your first one?
Okay, so for my first one, I picked Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It is
Now
the
wait
developer
a minute.
Cyber Connect 2. Originally came out on PS4 and Xbox One. So
That's why I said wait a minute
yeah,
because it already
yeah, no,
yeah.
I know, I know.
And
It
then
just took me a second.
yeah.
Yeah, my brain wasn't really loading there. I was more focused on the talking, Jaden.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay. Now being put on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. It releases January 13th. I haven't played Dragon Ball
Wait
Z
a minute. That was yesterday at the time of recording, or 2 days ago as of the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, which guys, I still haven't played it yet. I think I am probably going to get it and play it.
I didn't know you were a Dragon Ball Z fan.
Jaden, I love Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, I did not. I actually did not know that. I don't think we've ever talked about Dragon Ball Z before.
No, we haven't. I mean, I'd say I'm probably more of a casual fan, but I think Dragon Ball Z is better than a lot of anime out there.
I got you. I got you.
But Dragon Ball is better than Dragon Ball Z. Personal opinion.
I don't know.
Oh,
I do love Dragon Ball Z, but I have watched the original Dragon Ball, and it is a very good show.
yeah, it is. Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball is really good.
It is really, really good.
We're getting off topic here though. Release January 13th. I'm excited for it. I haven't played it yet. Yeah, so it sounds pretty good.
Yep. I actually own it on PS4. I bought it. I don't know if I bought it day one, but I bought it pretty soon after it came out, and then just never played it. It's always been on my list. I'll play it eventually. Yeah, maybe I'll play it so we can talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, cool. I mean, that's a good pick. I love Dragon Ball Z. My first game, Persona 3 Reload by Atlas Games, releases February 4th. Funny, our last news episode in November, I also did another Persona game, which was Persona 5 Tactica. As I mentioned there, I am a huge Persona fan. Persona 3 Reload is a remake of Persona 3, which was the start, I would say, of I mean, not even I would say, it is the start of Persona as you know it today. The whole system as it works now started in Persona 3, Persona 1 and 2, which I mean, Persona 2, they're like two different Persona 2s. I don't really know how the older ones work, but they're different. And it was Persona 3 when the game series really exploded in popularity and became kind of the JRPG that it is today. I actually did play Persona 3 on the PlayStation 2. Let me tell you, Cam, I did not enjoy it like at all. I did not like it.
Oof.
Um, but a lot of the reasons I did not like it were the older game mechanics that have since been changed and, in my opinion, made 1,000 times better in Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5. So I am actually excited for this one. I think the updates to gameplay and stuff will be really cool. Will make it a lot better to play, in my humble opinion. And yeah, I am excited to give it a go again. See if updated voice acting, updated cutscenes and things make it a little better, because there were a lot of my issues with it revolved around the gameplay, which I know for a fact the gameplay will be fixed, and the incredibly awkwardness of the voice acting. But Persona 3 Reload released in a time when voice acting was still newer to games. So all the games were kind of awkward a bit. So I'm thinking that probably be fixed. So I am excited to play this one.
Yeah, I will say awkward voice acting in games will always be very bad for me. I remember when 2K they had NBA 2K. I believe it was 15. That was the first time they ever tried to do like a story mode, and I remember how bad the acting was, and just everything looked terrible. I don't know, bad times. My second pick was One Piece Odyssey. The developers of this game is I think it's ILCA. This releases January 13th, which already released as well. I haven't I haven't seen anything on it yet, but I thought it looked pretty interesting, and I don't know, it kind of looked different than a lot of, like, I'd say, like the stereotypical anime games. So yeah, I'm kind of interested for it.
Cool. I'll be honest, not a One Piece fan. Never got into it. It's the longest. I mean, it's not the longest anime ever, but it's an incredibly long show, over 1,000 episodes. And honestly, that's all I have to say on it. I think it's an interesting pick. Do you like One Piece? Have you One Piece guy?
Not really, but I've heard a lot about One Piece in general, and I don't know. I feel like, okay, let me tell you my problem. I feel like if I go into a game instead of a show, I feel like maybe I get more understanding of where what the show is and what it's about. Because the show is just entirely too long. It's like Naruto or Naruto. My bad, people. I know some people.
No, no, it's Naruto.
It's Naruto. I don't know. I've heard some
Nobody,
people.
nobody calls it Naruto. I've never heard that pronunciation before.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that way. I feel like that. I feel like someone. I feel like there was a time where people were like, "That's the correct way." Like they'd be like, "No, that's the correct way of
Well,
saying
okay,
it."
let me tell you, that is not the correct way of saying it.
But anyways, Naruto. It's such a long series and show. Like there's so many movies and seasons and different shows of that show that you have to catch up on. So I just I always just play the game, and then I kind of was like, okay, I got the gist of it a little bit. So yeah, it's the same thing for that. I'm hoping, and plus it looks good. Good graphics, seems good. I watched a little thing about it. I haven't seen just a trailer.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on to my second game. Another one, another remake. Actually, I'm very heavy on the remakes. Silent Hill 2 remake, developed by Konami. At least the original was, so I assume this one is. I will admit to not verifying that. It just has a 2024 release window. Silent Hill 2 is one of the most popular, beloved, well-known horror games of all time, back on the PlayStation 1 or 2. And it's considered to be one of the best horror games of all time. I don't like scary games. I'm a little scaredy boy, but I do like gaming history, and so I know a lot about Silent Hill 2 and the story of it, and the, again, just overwhelming majority of people who like it. So the fact that it's being remade is really cool. I would like to play it. I'll be scared the whole time. I'll probably cry at least twice. But I'm excited for this one. As I've said, I love gaming history, and being able to play an older game like this that is kind of hard to play, just to find, I mean, and maybe probably also on the more expensive side to actually get like an original copy of it. I'm excited that there is a chance that I can actually play it. Hopefully a good remake of it.
Yeah, I have now. I've never played Silent Hill, but I've definitely seen videos, and I don't know. I honestly I remember a lot of the quotes from Silent Hill.
Mhm.
Surprisingly enough. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to play that because I kind of like scary games a little bit. I think they're funny. You know, they make me stay on my toes a little bit. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I kind of I well, I mean, I don't, I like them. I think I kind of like all games, man. I really don't really have an issue with
I
any of them.
gotcha. Well, cool. That gives me some ideas for some indie bits we can do.
Yeah, there's nothing really that I don't like, and honestly, like, there's not too much that I've experienced with. So it's kind of just you guys are with this journey. You guys are in this journey with me as I try new things and different games, and we find out together what I like and I don't like. So you know, but yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
For my last one, we have Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. This was developed by Rocksteady Studios, and this releases February 2nd. Pretty exciting. Um, that's gonna be a really fun game. I'm excited for the combat and the story mode. Really, I haven't seen too much on it, but I don't know. I think I'm definitely probably. I'm thinking about getting the game.
Yeah. I also haven't seen too much on it. I'm tentatively hopeful because Rocksteady has a great track record with the Arkham series. A lot of leaks about Suicide Squad that I have seen that make me worried that it will not be great. But, giving Rocksteady the benefit of the doubt here, I will play it and I will, I mean, hopefully like it. I will play it. I will absolutely give this a shot. Rocksteady has absolutely earned my loyalty on giving them a chance on this one, so I will get it and play it, of course.
Do you, by chance, want to explain any of the leaks, or no?
Like
We
battle
don't.
pass stuff,
You said what? I'm sorry.
battle pass stuff.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, it was something like
Oh.
that. I think they said like, oh yeah, it's only going to be cosmetic, but I still
Mm.
battle pass. I see battle pass, and I do not get excited.
Yeah. No, that's not. That's a big turnoff.
Yeah, and then my last game is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, developed by Ubisoft. Releases January 18th. This one actually comes out 3 days after this episode comes out. Prince of Persia, one of the longest running game series of all time. Although I don't know if it counts as longest running when it hasn't had a game in like at least 6 years, probably. Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember the original. Like, Kim, if you ever want to have a fun trip, go watch, like, search the original Prince of Persia game. It was the original game is a cinematic platformer,
Okay.
very, very old. I mean, in the 80s, maybe. Um, and then, in like the early 2000s, it kind of became more of like an action platformer, hack and slashy kind of thing. It updated with the times. And this is, I guess you could say, a reboot, just a new release. Um, it looks modern. It looks interesting. I'll admit I don't like the prince's haircut. If you look up the cover art, I don't like his haircut.
Let's see now.
But I feel like it looks way too modern. Um,
Uh, Not only that, but to me, it's like they took Miles Morales' hair and was
yeah,
like, let's put it on this. It just does not look good. It looks very not like, I don't know. They could have had a lot to do with that, and that doesn't look right. No, I agree. I mean, who has a fade back then? No one does. No one has a fade.
yes. Now, but Prince of Persia, I did play some of the early like 2000s games. I played a few of those, and I really enjoyed them. It's cool to see, and as always, it's cool to see a long running series kind of come back with what seems to be a new direction. I do not know if I will end up getting this one. Maybe I'll get it if there's a point when it's on sale or something. But cool to see the series come back, and I mean, I hope it succeeds. It's been a while since Prince of Persia has had some time in the spotlight. It'd be cool to see them get some love.
Agreed. Are we on for the indie bit?
And those are the upcoming games we wanted to talk about today.
And now we're on for the indie bit. the bit where we talk about indie games.
Yay!
Today, we are talking about Carto. Carto is an adventure puzzle game. You play by literally rearranging the world around you. You play as a young girl named Carto. She uses a magic map to move the land masses below. She then gets lost after using the same magic to make an aircraft get stuck in like a storm. And overall, you're kind of playing as like this girl, and it's very puzzlish. But to me, it's more like a simple puzzle game. Um, I don't know. What do you think, Jaden? Did you like it?
Give me just 1 second. Just want to
You're
make
okay.
sure. Just want to make sure you can hear this. Just hold on. Can you hear that?
That sounds like Jaden's having a fun time with himself.
Cam, you finally did it. I absolutely loved this game. It was short, which is always nice. It was fun. I loved it. Carto, the main character you play as her, she is cute, looking for her grandma. All the characters are fun and interesting. The writing is, I don't know what to call that writing style, but it's one of those games where like everyone is always kind of laughing and poking fun at harrowing situations. And like saying, I guess you could say everyone is always speaking honestly about things, and
But in kind of like a
but
sarcastic way, right?
yeah, sarcasm and stuff.
Yeah,
I personally am not a huge fan of that writing style overall. It's something that I think is done a lot, especially in indie games. It's yeah, it's I'm not a huge fan of the writing style, but I don't think I think Carto doesn't do it bad. It's just not a writing style that I prefer.
right.
But the story is fun. Carto herself is fun. And the gameplay, it is a very unique puzzle game. You literally move the world around. You can take the world is split into tiles. You take these tiles, you can move them. The borders have to be matching scenery like grassland, forest, ocean, desert, things like that, which is very interesting. A lot of puzzles revolve moving the map around in certain orientations, allowing you to go different places or to reveal hidden map pieces by placing the map in certain like shapes almost. Very unique. I've never played a puzzle game like that. I absolutely loved that mechanic. This was an absolute killer game. I loved it. My only two complaints about this game are one, the last chapter, you're on a bunch of icebergs. It is the only chapter that does this, where the game is in the pieces are not squares, they're like Tetris pieces. So maneuvering them around to be able to travel to different places is a lot more difficult. And I did not like that. It just came out of nowhere. It was a huge jump in the kind of logical difficulty of figuring out some of these puzzles. And it is like I had to legitimately look up some solutions for that chapter because I just could not figure it out. And again, it was just such a huge difficulty jump from the rest of the game because even you do play a little bit after that, and once again, you're just using squares, which is just way easier. Yeah, that last chapter I did not enjoy really. And then the only other complaint I have is a lot of the trophies revolve around in several chapters finding hidden puzzle pieces, and you find the hidden puzzle pieces by interacting with the world in specific ways. Like in one chapter, you have to clap at a tree, not a tree, like a plant, and as you clap, like you go up to it, and there's the X to interact button, and when you do, you just clap, and when you clap, it grows, and when it's fully grown, you get a puzzle piece. There's another one where you just have to orient the map in certain specific ways. Those are incredibly hidden. I do not know how people were managed to figure out some of those puzzle pieces without a guide. And there's not even any indication that you can do something like that. The game never tells you while you're playing it, it doesn't say give you one for free and say, "Oh, be sure to search around the world for these hidden puzzle pieces." It never does anything like that, which is I think is incredibly bizarre. For again, just how extremely hidden those things are. Yeah. Those are my only two complaints. Other than that, I thought it was an absolutely incredible game. It's short, you can beat it. I played through the game, again, with the exception of the ice chapter, the Arctic chapter. I played through the whole game without a guide, and it took me maybe 4 hours to beat. I did use a guide for the puzzle pieces to get that completion. I did get the platinum in this game, had 9 gold trophies, loved it. Cam,
Yeah,
this one an absolute success.
yeah. I think Carto is a good game. It has a really good concept, nice design, good puzzles. It's a very friendly vibe, you know. So it's very positive. I think it's a really good game to relax to and take a break from most of the games we know today. As for the puzzles, I like them. I don't. Most of them weren't really hard, and most of them weren't really that easy either. You know, and I usually have that problem with puzzle games where it's like, well, one of them is either too easy or it's too hard. But this was just enough where you still get the brain moving. Um, and so yeah, I liked it. It was a really good game, and I think it's funny because me and Jaden have been talking about how we've been lucking out on our picks recently for indie bit games, but no, I think we finally found a good one.
Yeah, we've had not the best run, and this was a great way to finally change that.
Yes, I agree.
Um, yeah, fun fact, I did go back and get the platinum in Human Fall Flat, and it was just as frustrating as you would probably think.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, Human Fall Flat was a little disappointing for me. I can't lie. I thought it was gonna be a lot better.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
just the
wasn't.
mechanics. I don't like the mechanics. Again, had a lot of issues of having to drag stuff around and things. Anyway, that's Carto. Cam, did you have anything else that you wanted to say about Carto?
No, no,
All
I
right.
think I'm good.
All
Good.
right. So that's Carto. Our next indie bit game is a game called Far Changing Tides.
Ooh, okay.
Again, looked up, saw the art for it, looked up how long it takes to beat. Not too long. From what I did actually read a brief description about it, I will not tell you, because I don't remember, but it seemed interesting. I was like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I'll play that. So that's our next indie bit. So that is another successful indie bit segment. We did it again, Cam. Go us.
Yeah, we're the best.
We are the best. And that is another episode. Oh, I did want to say actually before we do wrap up real quick. This happened like 4 episodes ago, but we reached 80 total episodes of the podcast.
Oh, sweet. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. Noah and I used to celebrate. I used to celebrate things, but I don't know if we've celebrated any of this stuff. I
Well,
don't know. It's
we'll
funny.
sing a story.
We definitely need to talk about Kakarot though, because our most popular episode by far is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
Oh, really? Is it
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Oh,
two
yeah.
hundred and 73 downloads on that one.
I did not know that. I
Our next most popular Horizon Zero Dawn has 199, so we're almost at 2 episodes with 200 downloads, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know we'd have to do something. I don't know. I thought maybe like
Anyway,
I could.
go us. We're the best.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
We we are the big daddies.
We are the big daddies and little daddies of the podcast. Anyway, guys, don't forget new episodes every other Monday. Rate and subscribe. Tell us if you like our show or tell us if you don't, and tell us why. Tell your friends and enemies about the podcast. You can follow our Instagram, the Super Gamer Bros, for updates on episodes. And as always, Noah, still going strong on YouTube. Noah, the Super Gamer Bro on YouTube. If you want to, go check out what he's doing. He's playing through a bunch of stuff right now, and he uploads every single day. Every single day he uploads. So if you're looking for something to spend 30 minutes to an hour on every day, that's something. So check that out. And as always, guys, thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next game.
Peace.